Okay, so we're going to do the act of factoring again, or factorizing if you're from the good old British Isles, trinomials with common factors. Well, so it's two steps. We're going to first always look for a common factor. So when I have a 3x squared, a 15x, and a 72, I think, what do they all have in common? What is the answer to that question, Mr. Cole?
3.
All right, so I have a 3, so I pull out my common factor. I'm left with x squared plus 5x minus, oh, help me out on this one.
Ooh.
24?
2, yep.
24. Okay, and so now, imagine the 3's not there. Hide that 3. I'm just going to write it down, and I'm, again, going to factor this one like we did last time. We get the x and the x. It has to multiply to get x squared. I'm looking for the multiples, or the factors of 24.
Okay, so there's quite a few of those, right?
There
so we got
are.
1 and 24. Okay, what else? 2 and 12. 3 and 8. And 4 and 6.
Okay. And I'm looking to get 5 by adding or subtracting somehow. And when I look at this column, this one here will get me 5. 8 minus 3. So I write my 8, my 3. I have to think about the signs carefully. They have to multiply to get negative. So that means one's positive, one's negative. Add to get 5. So this means it'll be a plus 8 and a minus 3. All right.
Agreed.
So, agreed.
Yep.
Let's go to the next one. Trying B. Again, we're going to look for our common factor. And if I look at this, I think it's going to be 6. Because I get a y squared, a minus 5y, plus 4. Ignore the 6, just write it down. Well, ignore it in the sense that you don't do anything with it other than write it down. Factors of 4 are quite simple. I get a 1 and a 4 and a 2 and a 2. So I have to get negative 5 somehow. Well, the only way that's going to happen is using those. And so I get a 4 and a 1. Now, they have to multiply to get positive and combine to get negative 5. So they either both have to be positive or both have to be negative. To get negative 5, they both have to be negative. So be careful of your positive and negatives. Think those through carefully.
Okay, we're going to let you go ahead and do C and D yourselves, I think.
Yep.
So try and do those ones, and then pause and come back for us for E.
Okay, now that you're back, E is quite challenging for several reasons. One, I have it kind of in a backwards way of what we're used to seeing it, and I have X's in all of them and these big numbers. So what we've talked about is find a common factor first. So our common factor when we look at all these is going to be 10x.
So it's important that you get the 10 and the x out of the brackets, right? Not just the 10 and not just the x.
Right, and so I get 6 plus x minus x squared. Now, this is still tricky because the last podcast we talked about the fact that this a value has to be positive 1. So we can't, at this point, you guys don't know how to deal with this.
Would you just make it negative 10x then? And then that would...
So I'm going to pull out an extra factor of negative 1. So outside I have negative 10x. And so if I take out a negative factor from here, I get negative 6 minus x plus x squared. And I'm even going to rewrite that because I think better when it's in the form I recognize. Then it's the same pattern, same questions all the time. And so I get my negative 10x. And again, I'm thinking my factors of 6 are 2 and 3 and 1 and 6. They multiply to get 6 and add to get negative 1. What's that going to have to be, Mr. Cole?
Okay, so we need the 2 and the 3, right?
Of course.
One's positive, one's negative, and we're going to have to make the 3 negative, right?
Agreed. And there's our factoring. So be careful of your factors. Make sure you put a negative for the negative 10x, and it should work out nicely when you're done.